Okay, been dropped off to Kia to change the front rotors. This one here doesn't look too bad. It's got about a 1mm lip on it, but got the new rotors anyway, so gonna put them on. Brake pads themselves look new as well. I got new brake pads as well to put on, so changing everything today with that. Just gonna go over the step with yous. On the back we got the two 14mm to get this caliper off, and two 15mm to get the caliper mount off. So you got your 14mm on top there, 15mm there, and underneath you've got your 14mm on the end there, and your 15mm. So first of all, the caliper ones come off. Get this caliper loose, tie it up, just using a couple of cable ties to hold the caliper up because I don't know where my jockey straps are. And then we'll get the caliper off, the mount off, and replace this. Okay, the first thing you want to be mindful of is that this low brake sensor is on the back of the rotor, not the front. So don't struggle with trying to put that pad on the front here, it won't fit. It just can't get past this point here. So those go on the back because there's no obstruction on the back to prevent that. And the brake sensor goes to the top, not when you get the pair, they're opposite to each other. So if it's on the bottom, it's on the wrong side, it goes to the top. Remove these two screws here, and you can already see the rotors coming forward. Okay, another word of advice is with these mounts here, I normally like to take these here out, clean them out, put new grease in. These here don't look, the boots don't look damaged. I'm not going to because this side here, I believe, has a rubber boot that's a part of the shaft. If you take that all the way out without having the correct tool to put that in, you're going to spend all day and get nowhere. So I'm going to leave them alone. They are moving quite nicely. There's no need to be concerned about that. Now I'm going to clean up this area here because a slight bit of corrosion in here that puts that new rotor on offset. You're going to get a vibration in the brakes every time you brake, so we'll need to clean this area up now. There's a new rotor on, making sure I line up those screw holes. This mount here has a spring load at the bottom that you need to pull away so you can put the pad on. I find it easier when doing this, have the mount off and put these pads on first. That way I can pull that mount and just slip them in, and that's ready to go back on. Alright, now to press those pistons back in. Little DIY tool that I made, but you can buy this particular tool online. I'll just push those pistons back in. Cut that cable tie. So now I've got the caliper back in place. Get these bolts back in. Okay, one thing to be mindful of that I forgot to mention, these ends here have to go a certain way for that caliper to slide on, and they stop the center from turning, so when you're bolting it up, those don't turn. So make sure that they're facing the right way when you're putting the caliper on. Okay, so now it's just a matter of putting the wheel back on, and then the next step is, which I'd like to show you, but I can't, because of COVID. I can't really go for a drive anywhere right now because of lockdown. But when I do go somewhere, I need to get up to 80 k's. Make sure there's no cars around, so you're not braking hard in front of anyone. But you get up to 80 k's, you brake hard. You do that 3 or 4 times, so the pads in the rotors get their wear and tear together. Alright, so the next part to do now is, after I put the wheel on, is to make sure that the brake pads have got the pressure in the system that they need. Don't just hop in the car and go for a drive now, because you're going to find the very first time you brake, possibly the first 2 times you brake, you're going to go straight through an intersection because there's no pressure here. It's not set up yet. Okay, now just to finish this clip off, so after you've done the brakes, you want to start the car, and you want to press the brakes a few times, get that pressure up, and before you go for a drive, whether you do pads or pads and rotors, either way, pads and rotors is worse. Be careful when you go for your first drive, because when you hit those brakes, you're probably not going to stop straight away unless you've done this first. You've pumped them up, you've got the pressure there. But just to be sure, brake a couple of times before you actually need to make sure that your brakes are working. Till next time, guys. Cheers.